Yes, I'm Sunny Lin. I'm working for information security, and also I'm lectures at the information technology. No, actually not. ICT department, information science and technology.
Thank you. And Professor?
I am Dr. Denise Kinsey. I just go by Denise, and I am in information decision sciences as well, but I am focused and placed at Palm Desert to try to encourage and grow the populations there, work with local businesses, and to help to grow those opportunities, because that is a phenomenal place.
Oh, and Palm Desert is such an important, great location. I know there's a lot of people here on this campus that have not been to Palm Desert. I know I get joked around being I should have an office over there because I'm there a lot. But Palm Desert's an amazing campus. It's got a great program and a great, just the staff and the students are incredible. But it's a different group of students, and we really need to address that. That always has to be addressed. So anyways, I will send it off to you guys.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Now I'm being honored, and also I can thank you, Denise, to help me for these sessions. This is really a very important session for today's age about the data security, because the data is everywhere, and also you don't know where you lost your data. So hopefully in this particular session you will learn something can protect yourself, and also we know how to protect the data we also managed as a part of the employee on the university. The most importantly, and also what are the new coming California regulation will impact on those privacies, and also the consumer right also impact our life. So here is the contents of we are going to start with the privacy with the social media. I think and also we'll go through how to protect our digital privacy and pivot into how to protect a business data. Then we'll talk more about introduce some two new laws in the California. One is already in place. The other will be in place in January 2023. Then also I invite Denise to speak more about a woman's security. Then the plan is we have about 20 to 25 minutes of the talk, but for then we have the rest of the time for answer your questions.
Great. And your slides are not being shown, just so you're aware.
Oh, slides not shown. Okay.
No, because I know you were talking about the agenda, and I wanted to make sure everyone could see
let me
it.
see here. I thought I shared. Okay. Oh, I didn't share my slide. Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Let me do. Okay. Wait, we'll have the technical difficulty here. Okay. Do you see my slide? Okay. So social media. Actually, I think it's, Sonia did talk about social media on the last sections. I know many of the people do live with the social media today. And as I ask my students how long they can stay offline without any network connections, the most of the students can only live about 5 minutes because because they cannot access their social media. So what is the social media? So that is really a software that designed to allow people to interact without the face-to-face connection or the physical connections. So that's why we see many different social media today, such as TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And I know the reason I put Facebook there because my age. so whenever I talk about Facebook, that my daughter told me that is the old generations. The new generation, the most of new generation is on the TikTok. why the social media get so popular? Because they can get the instant feedback and instant recognitions in those media. I think our new generations is really being always be put on the spotlight through the social media. However, the social media really also provide a segue or the path to stealing our private informations, because most of the social media company, they are tracking our usage through their algorithms. And also people on the social media, many of the time, they are not aware people also have stalking other people through the social media. I think I would like to also to ask Denise if you have any comments on this topic.
Most definitely. One of the issues with social media is how easily we overshare. You might think that it's a very benign thing to be asked, "What's your high school mascot?" or different things like that. But that's what people use to try to build your password, to try to guess it, to try to build a profile about you. So even though it seems okay and safe to share amongst the people that you think are your friends, we have to be really careful because of the fact that we don't know how they're going to use that information, and it's been used to try to impersonate, to build alternate identities, to try to get in with another group. Just like here at CSUSB, we have so many students, so many faculty on LinkedIn or any of these other platforms. It's really easy for someone to say, "Oh, well, I have that connection because we're both here at the university." But do you really know that person? Is it even a real person? It's very easy to create a false profile. So definitely being careful, and right there, exactly what you have.
Yes, that's really is our concern. Is we are to share too much of our personal information on the social media, and also many of the people, and also a lot of the perpetrators really tracking people through social media. So if you are posting any vacation pictures online, someone will use those vacation pictures to determine where can break into your residence. So that is also that we call the online stalking. So they really really track every movement on the social media posting. And also the other things is we learned, especially through the social media, a lot of bullying happening, because it's easier to bully somebody without the face-to-face interactions. So that is really to erase a lot of the hate speech and also a lot of the violence outside the social media environment. So that is one of the a setback for the evolution of the social media. The people really misuse the social media. And the other thing is sometimes we are posting something unintentionally. So the most important is maybe you post some of the some pictures or some messages in those social media. However, once you post to the social media, that will live forever. You cannot remove them. So so there are many regrets happen after you those unintentional posting. So this is very serious issues we are experiencing in the social media. So even the social media really help us to evolve in our personal relationship, but also social media also bring a lot of harm in our daily lives. So then how we can protect ourselves for the social media? So the first, of course, things we back to authentications, how we can protect the rudimentaries to avoid someone can steal our account, because the other things the social media bring is the open IDs. So many of the other applications, they can using the social media login. So and allow you to authenticate as the user or register as the other account. Therefore, to protect those authentication method or authentication information become most important things and also most fundamental things to protect yourself at the first place. So in order to protect your authentications, everybody is really recommend using a strong and complex password. And however, the password is we'll say the password is really become the stone age of the security. That's my opinion, Denise. We cannot only rely on the password anymore. So we need to have other factor or other method to authenticate. So that's why I know many of the users hate using Duo. The Duo is not protect university. The Duo is really protect you because we are asking you to using the multi-factor authentication. The factor is something you own or something you know. It's not just the passwords. So the hackers or some bad people want to authenticate to your account. They not only need your user ID and password, they have to get the secondary factor to log you in. So that's why using the Duo. Actually, this is not only seen on our university. This is the not only seen on the CSU system-wide, and also this is a requirement from the federal government for any banking informations. And also, we also see more and more social media platform is start promoting the multi-factor authentications.
And when I just mentioned about the innocuous questions about what is your high school mascot, for self-service to be able to reset your password, a lot of those questions that you're going to see and think, oh, it's no big deal, or where were you on this date, or any of those things. Guess what? Those are the questions that you're prompted when you forgot your password and you're trying to reset that account yourself without having to intervene with another person. So they're not as innocuous as they seem, and it does matter. So you don't want to be very careful about oversharing.
Yes, that's true. And also the other thing is, how many of you go to a Starbucks and bring your laptop, and then they left your laptop and to order a cup of coffee? I did. But sometimes just in the few minutes or few seconds, someone will try to access your computer, your desktop or your device. So be careful or be rigid for your device. Always carry your device around. You don't leave your device unattended, because at any given time, someone will try to steal or try to break into your device. So not even just the Starbucks. Many of time when I at the airport terminal, people really left those devices at on their seat and go somewhere else. So it's really need to protect your device, because in today's age, we are carry our device around all the time. And also try to not using the rogue Wi-Fi or the unprotected public Wi-Fi, because the unprotected Wi-Fi is really we call the honeypot. Everybody can get access and everybody can see what happened on the transactions. So if you see, if go to an unfamiliar place, the suggestion is try to using your cell phone as a hotspot. Do not using a public Wi-Fi or unfamiliar public Wi-Fi.
Well, and to add to that, when you authenticate across Wi-Fi, you're using the air. So anybody who's within range is able to capture your credentials. That means your user ID, your password, anything that you're using, and they can actually then purport to be you. And so everything you're doing, plus everything you do at that point, unless you're using a virtual private network, a VPN, everything you're doing is out there visible to anybody within proximity, even at a hotel where they might have the hotel name or some silly little thing as their password. They don't change that. That's known. So it's still a
Yes.
public Wi-Fi that you're not
Mhm.
staying secure on. So be very, very careful about that.
Yes, that's true. So, and also, and the person, keep your personal information personal. Don't overshare. That's back to Denise the point, because we are tendently to oversharing the information, especially when we register to the any of the social media account. We are putting the real birthday on the account. So guess what? Some of the also the account reset will ask what is your birthday, even not full birthday. So that is really keep your personal information personal and not disclosing your the full address or full birthday. Don't keep those information as a private. And also manage your privacy settings. How many as part of the back Facebook. Facebook tended to leave everything to the public. So when you are sharing your informations, you are really shared to the public. Unwarily, you are only to share with your friend. So try to manage your privacy settings under any of social network site, and also need to constantly review those private settings, because every time when the algorithm change or the program change, those private settings also change. So you also need to constantly to review those settings is in the right setting to protect your private information. And also, as I mentioned earlier, once you post information is out there, you cannot take it back. So that is where the regret happens. And
Absolutely.
also,
So a good rule of thumb to use is the grandmother-granddaughter rule. If you don't want your grandmother to see what you're posting, depending on your age, or if you're older like I am, you don't want your granddaughter to see it, don't post it.
Yeah.
And be very cognizant, especially as a lot of you are students and you're going to be looking for your first career opportunity. Be very careful about what's posted out there, because the employers are going to scrutinize your social media to see if you're going to be a good fit for them. And if you engage in reckless behavior, or if you're doing things that are illegal, for example, even though marijuana may be legal in different areas and for different purposes, it's still federally illegal. So if you want to go to work for the federal government and you want to get a security clearance, you can't have smoked marijuana in the last 5 years, and you're going to have a hard time getting the job if you're out there shown smoking with your friends, and they can easily tell that it's marijuana or some other illegal substance. So you want to be very careful about the way you portray yourself, especially as you're about to enter the career world.
yes. And also beware the social engineering, the spamming, or the net social and efficiency, because those are they are coming through different forms. They may come through the social media posting. They may come from the email, and now they also may come from the text or voicemail. So just be aware when you receive those common informations. Also beware the bank. When bank will ask you question, they will not send you text or email. They will try to contact you in person or send you a mail through the USPS. So if you are receiving any of the information from regarding to your bank account through the email or through text, the best way is call back to the bank to verify if that is a legit message.
Yep. And the credit card companies have their numbers right on the back of the credit card. So if ever there's a doubt, call the number that you know is their number, the one that is stamped on the back of your card.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's the way to protect your personal information. So that will segue. Okay. Yes. So that will bring it to we know how to protect our personal informations as part of our as a university employee. We also need to protect our student or our customers' information, our employee informations. So so with that, we as a universities, we really doing a lot of role-based access control. And because we are doing the role-based control, many of users complain that take a while to get granted access they need. This is not to prevent the employee to do their job. This is we just try to do our diligence to verify the need of the access, and also we also need to verify if you have been get proper training to really access those informations. So sometimes if you really need to elevate those access, please be patient, or we will try to accommodate those assets in a reasonable time. Okay. And also, we are keeping educating our employees for what this month is a cybersecurity awareness month. And also, we would like to ask you to really to be aware what happening lately in the different cybersecurity issues. So we are one of the keep educating, the education is continuous. As I joke to my boss, Gerard, say if I can, I will impose the security training every other week to all the employees. So that is why that's important. Why you have to the awareness, because really the social engineering is evolving. The way they doing the social engineering is amazing. Sometimes it's really hard to catch from to identify is real or false. And lately, we also have an instance the perpetrators really try to get the dual access code, so they can log in using a dual bypass code to authenticate to the service. So those part of the educations, it should be a continue as in the education, and also we need to continue aware those different situations. And then that back to security cultures. I think as part of my job, I personally feel we have at the level of the security cultures as we should have. Many of the time or the different unit on campus is quite relaxed on the awareness of the securities. So we as part of the transition to the next generation of the privacy a requirement, a privacy regulation, we really need to step up our security cultures, which means we need to promptly to update or patch our systems. How are we going to protect our to have awareness to using our device properly? And also the other things is we are going to evolve into bring your own device environment. We already see that happening. How are we going to have the policy and to and the standard to embrace that environment? So because those are devices, the university cannot manage those devices. We have to rely on the end users to maintain those devices at the standard to access those private, the classified informations. Then I'll have to have a habit to encrypt everything. So to have your device encrypted at all time. So let's go back to the situation you left your device at the airport terminals. Someone would take your device, someone steal your device. If your device encrypt, then the people took your device, they may not be able to access the data on that device. So that is very important and also I know many of the user, when they get their new cell phones, the iPhones, Android phones, they probably only put 4-digit passcodes. So I would encourage you to create a passcodes or passphrase beyond the 4-digit, because that is very easier to break in, to be brutal forced to break in. So so you have to be aware how do you manage your own device. Another thing is you need to back up data regularly, and also dispose data properly. And many of time we do see people go through trash cans, or they go to a desk going around to find the flash drive, because we don't really be aware where we're putting those storage device. So so sometimes those device really has some sensitive data on it. So we have to be aware where we put our storage device, and also if we have to print out, how are we going to dispose those printout on the papers. I know not many people, not everyone to access a shader. Even you access a shader, you may have a very high grade shaders. So really be careful how you're going to dispose those data on the storage device or print out reports. So the next, we will talk about the new two regulations for in the Californias. The first one is California Consumer Privacy Act. This is the regulations, Proposition 24 was effect on January 1st, 2020. And this is the response, the California response to the European GDPR. If you are familiar with the European privacy law, called the General Data Protection Regulations. This is the California version of the GDPR. So that is give the consumers more control on their personal informations that business collect. However, I learned that our university has been exempt from this law and also the new law, because we are not collecting the information. We are not sell those collect informations. So so the university right now is on the exemptions, but we know the law change, and one day we will also be compliant with those regulations. So this is really protecting, to regulate those private business to collect your information and to sell those information. So that's why you have, as a consumer, you do have the right to know about your personal information, how that business collect and how the business use and share those informations. And also you do have the right to request the business to delete your personal information when after they collect. And also you have the right to opt out the sales of their personal information. So that's why you do see many of the website pop up the cookie setting to ask you if you want to preventing the business owner to sell your information. So this is the direct response to the CCPA. And also give you the right to non-discrimination for accessing the right of the CCPA. So this is so no business can deny your request if there's under the CCPA. So that is the law right now on the book, has been enforced, and the new one is CPRA, the California Privacy Right Act. This is really to enhance the CCPA, the place the CCPA was not addressed. So that gives the threshold of the application of the organization to collect personal information from California residents. So this is really, the CCPA itself is not just addressed to the California residents, any of the business in California. However, the CPRA is give the protection to the California residents. So if you are a resident in the California, you will be specific protect by the regulations, and also give the user right to recertify how to using the personal data. And also the business also need to understand and provide those risk assessment for the CPPA to protect the specific consumer data. So those are the two new laws within the California that protect your personal information. So then I will give time to Denise. She will help us to understand, and also she will promote the woman in cybersecurity.
I will shamelessly promote women in cybersecurity. It's pronounced WeSIS for We Sisters in Cybersecurity. We have a CSUSB chapter. And while I'm located in Palm Desert, activities and officers are located on both campuses. So you have the opportunity to get to know them on both campuses. We're going to do a lot of individual opportunities. If you want to travel to one campus or the other, you can. Whenever we have it at one campus, we're going to have it televised or webcast, I should say, through Zoom. So you could see it at the other campus, but we're going to have opportunities on both campuses, and we have already. If you're interested, WeSIS is available through the website that we have there, where you can learn all about it, the different activities, the calendar. We also have an Instagram page that can be followed. We also have another opportunity on the main campus. It's the CISO Club, and we're looking to bring aspects of that club down to the Palm Desert campus, but it's not here yet. Basically, it is the club that was founded with the Scholarship for Service students. Those are the students who have NSA scholarship, National Security Agency scholarships, to attend here at CSUSB. And they have to do projects and do content study outside of classes. And so the way that they decided to do that, Drs. Colson and Nestler, they designed the CISO Club. And so that is, I think it is cybersecurity, I'm sorry, it is Cyber Information Security Officers Club, I believe is what it stands for, or organization. I always get that wrong, but I am actually the advisor, in full disclosure. I am the advisor of WeSIS, and I am a third advisor on CISO, and they're wonderful opportunities. There is a cost to be involved in either, but there are a lot of free activities each term, as well as other things. And don't let Women in Cybersecurity, the name, fool you. Everyone is welcome to participate and be a part of it. The only caveat, because it is a subchapter of the national WeSIS organization, the top 3 offices have to be held by women. Otherwise, anybody can join. In fact, I believe that last year our webmaster was a guy. So it's great because when all of our students come out, it shows support. It shows welcoming us all to the table, that we're all part of the conversation. You know, they're really allies and advocates for us being part of that community. And so we have these two amazing organizations. And then Sunny, if I could bother you to switch to the last slide,
Yep.
we do have an amazing way for you to learn more about both of those organizations. And that is on this Friday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Jack Brown Hall on main campus. The CISO Club and WESIS will be helping to host the Cybersecurity Center open house. That is a phenomenal way to meet other students interested in IT and cyber. And some of them are interested in gaming, and some of them are interested in psychology, it's in criminal justice. It's the whole caveat of cyber areas. And this is a free event to students, counselors, faculty. We want you to come in, meet everybody, get to see what the projects are. They'll have the drones, they'll have, refreshments, they'll have all different kinds of things going on. And you get to learn about what the projects are for this semester. Projects change every semester based on what the students want to learn. But say, for example, you're really, really, really interested in a red team kind of a situation or hacking, and you don't know enough about it to really say that, yeah, I'd be good at it or not. Well, guess what? We've got students who are working on a project on that. And you can come in and you can learn by watching them do this. We have the innards of a car mounted up on a wall so that you can do vehicle hacking through autotainment and infotainment centers. It's just whatever you can imagine, we find a way to make it possible for you. When I say that, I'm part of it, but I'll be honest, I've not helped to facilitate any of the amazing projects that are there. That is Doctors Colson and Nestler to this point. And we are working on Palm Desert. Any of you who've been down to Palm Desert, we have the iHub because we ran out of space on the campus. The iHub is across the street from main campus. It's actually where my office is located, is in the iHub. And we have what's called a maker space there, which is an area that I share with the logistics folks, the marketing folks, and the hospitality folks. And we have an opportunity to get projects going and have all kinds of just basically mental stimulation in cyber and IT, and be a think tank, do research. If you want to know how something works, well, let's see if we can get it and figure it out for you, so that you have that hands-on opportunity and you get to literally try before you buy kind of thing with cybersecurity. Because let's face it, it is not possible for us to help you with every single thing you need to be successful in cyber in the classroom, in a program, in the time that we have with you, because cyber touches everything. And so we need to give you opportunities to get excited about an area of cyber, help to identify what area within this huge platform of activities you would like to learn most about. Some of you might think, well, I don't want to do that because I hate programming. Well, first of all, I'm sorry. That means that maybe you've had a bad teacher. I teach programming, by the way. So again, I'm sorry, you might have had, but it's also where if we inspire you, if we make things understandable, if we show you the why behind it, it makes more sense. So maybe you didn't like programming in the classroom where you're told to create programs that we, the teacher, tell you to create. But when you think of a problem you want to solve, you start thinking, okay, what tools can I use to solve this? Well, guess what? Programming is one of those tools that you need. So it's a way for you to dabble or immerse yourself in any of these different concentration areas, meet like-minded people, grow your professional and personal network, make some friends, have some fun, and just do all things cyber. It's a really cool environment. I honestly wish they had something like this back when I was a student. But as a student, I started out in college in the 80s. So obviously not. As I mentioned, I was the only woman in my entire program during 3 of the 4 years I was in it. So that makes a difference. But we don't have that now. Come out and see how many women are there. And by the way, a lot of our officers and a lot of our members of WESIS are also members or officers of CISO. So there's a lot of overlap, but we have different focuses. In WESIS, we're looking to do a lot of mentoring, a lot of job opportunities, recruiting, and hands-on from a different perspective. In CISO, they do hands-on, but they have a different set of tools and things they're using. And the cool thing is, I've been really encouraging this. We are going to start videotaping and recording our sessions so that we have a library repository that you'll be able to go to as members and look at some of the things that we've done and teach yourself. And that also alleviates time so that we don't have to cover the same topics again. We can now cover new things because again, there's so much in cyber. So obviously I love this stuff. This is so cool. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to be there to meet you on Friday. I truly wish I was, but it's an amazing open house. If you can, please consider going. You want to go ahead and register on Eventbrite with the links that are on the right-hand side of that image. If you are able to go, that way they can plan for the refreshments and also how many people in case they need to open up additional rooms, spread things out in the hallway, that kind of thing, to make sure that there's room to support everybody and keep everybody safe. So I
Yes,
appreciate the time to cheerlead for that, Sunny.
yes, thank you, Denise. Actually, I concur, Denise. Actually, that is an amazing event. I remember one year I attended the event. I see there also to show how to pick up the locks. So
Yes.
that was amazing. That was amazing.
Well, it is. And you know, what's really cool is all these different projects and technologies. I don't know them all. Well, I know a lot, and I've been doing this for 30 years. And I mean, I've done things. So give you perspective. I've cleaned up a nuclear facility when it got hit by malware. I have worked digital forensics cases with local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and the FBI. I've helped to rescue a kidnapped girl as well as put away a child pornographer on top of other cases. You know, I have set up manufacturing and ethanol plants, and so I do OT as well as IT, the operational technology as well as IT. I've done a lot of stuff in 30
Yes.
years.
Mhm.
Authored textbooks, authored mini books, been an expert in some of these areas. And I have learned things every time I've attended the open house from the things that inspired students. I think it is so
Yes.
cool. You
Yes.
never want to stop learning. And I have learned from them. And I've got this amazing career, right? And I learned from them. It is so worth your time if you can attend.
Yes. Yeah. Hopefully I see you there on Friday, everybody. I know I don't see Denise. But
Yeah,
I'm planning to
sorry.
go. Yeah. Okay, so now we open the floor for the question and answers. Any questions?
Good question. So to address that, Jeanette, one of the things that I've learned is that depending on the kind of work you're doing, you may want to be careful about using OneDrive or Google Drive or some of those products, because the provenance of where that data is being stored could come into question. So prior to coming to Cal State San Bernardino, I was actually at a university in Texas, and they had worked with Google Drive to ensure that all the research for the university was going to be within our national borders, so that they would be able to have preservation of authorship for any patents and things like that. So if you're thinking to create something, be a little careful about where things are stored and how they're accessed. The other thing is most of those shared drives, though, are secure as long as you don't start giving out the access to everybody and their brother. So you have to be careful because it's very easy to inadvertently send somebody access to one of those items by sending them a document or sending them something that's linked in there. And then you now have access given to somebody else. And if you don't have the security set up the way it should be, just having a link, depending on which tool you're using, could give someone access to your drive. So you want to be careful.
And also,
Sunny?
yeah, and also, ITS, we do have some partnership with Microsoft. We are creating a shared, a secured OneDrive where we can host the level 1 or level 2 informations. If you really need to have those space, please contact us. We can help you to set up to protect those information.
That's a very good question, because when we think about third-party companies, we don't always think about how secure they are. One thing I'd love to encourage everyone to do, if they haven't done it already, please go get free antivirus on your computers or your phones. I mean, you can pay for it too, but if you don't want to pay for it, there's several very good free companies. There's McAfee, Avast, AVG. The one I do not endorse is Kaspersky, because it's a Russian-owned company, and nothing against the Russian people, but the government can at any time take control or demand access to the devices that are secured by that. So I would never recommend that one, but all the other ones are fine. And for your phone, look at the App Store. Don't go out and do a Google search on your phone.
Yeah.
Go to the App Store for your phone's manufacturer and identify things that are already out there that have had some rudimentary testing on them, that now have a good number of people that are saying these are great. Like I said, I personally use AVG. I get nothing from it. I'm not a paid spokesperson, but there are a number of good ones. Like I said, Malwarebytes, Avast. Sunny, do you have a favorite?
No, actually, if you are Windows users, you already have one. Do you just turn on the
You do.
Windows Defenders? That is good. That is very good product. And also now the Windows Defender is being ported into the Linux and other operating systems. So so that is a free product from the Microsoft.
Yep, just having that layer of protection is very beneficial.
And also same on the older operating system. If you can turn on the host-based firewall, that will also give you another layer of protection on the device.
Absolutely.
So, any other questions? That was very good questions. Or did you see the question from John?
I saw it from Jeanette. It was in the chat.
Yeah. Let me see here. I don't see what from John.
Oh, and thank you. By the way, Sunny clarified that CISO is Cyber Intelligence and Security Organization. Thank you. I totally messed that up.
No, no, no.
Don't tell
Actually,
Tony and Vinny.
it's on the link itself.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, don't tell them. They'll heckle me for years on that. So, which, by the way, if you haven't been following the news, the Cybersecurity Center here at CSUSB is one of the highest funded by the NSA and other government entities. They've done an amazing job bringing in funds, opening opportunities to students. It's really something to consider. And you can learn at the open house about the Scholarship for Service. That is, like I mentioned, the NSA opportunity to have 2 years of your tuition paid for. The caveats are you must be a citizen, because it's the National Security Agency. So that is their number one requirement. You must be a citizen. And then it's 2 years of education that they'll pay for a 2-year commitment. So you already have to have a couple years of education, either have an associate's working towards your bachelor's, have a bachelor's working towards your master's, and then they will give you a living stipend. It's over $24,000 a year. As an undergrad, it's over $48,000 a year as a grad, to pay you to go to school with your schooling being free, to learn and study in this area. And then you go to work for a governmental organization that they've approved. There can be think tanks like MITRE Corporation, Idaho National Labs. It can be some different local government. It can be the NSA, it could be the CIA, the FBI. And you go to work for them for that same time commitment. You don't get a reduction in wage because you got this additional bonus. You start out at the same governmental level that anybody starting in that job would start out. You have a job with some of the coolest toys that you'll ever see. And you don't have to worry about where am I going to go to work, right? Because you have this job laid out. It's an amazing opportunity if you have the ability to go to one of these organizations. Because again, I know some of you, especially in Palm Desert, don't want to leave Palm Desert, right? That's the whole idea of going to school here, that we don't lose you.
Yeah.
But it's just, like I said, so many amazing opportunities. If you want to get involved in helping those who are new to cyber, come mentor. If you are new to cyber and you want to learn something, come learn. If you want to participate over the summer in Gen Cyber, we're always looking for volunteers. It is very fun. In fact, this next year, Gen Cyber's at Palm Desert. It's not at San Bernardino.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
exciting. So I probably asked Gerard to take time to doing work from Palm Desert instead of main campus for those days.
absolutely.
So
John
actually,
has a great question. Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Go ahead. Sunny.
yeah. John has a great question. Yeah. So, can a person become a good programmer? My answer is
I
definitely.
believe so.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just you may not have a good teachers, but I think there's a lot of good tutorial video from Google, from the YouTubes. And also, I think Apple did very good, amazing job. Apps they call the Sweep. I forgot the app's name. That is to really promote the Swift language. So that will teach you to write a Swift program, but you also can get immediate feedback. A Swift playground. That is amazing apps. So you can learning the Swift programming, and also you see the immediate feedback from that platforms.
And the thing is that I was teasing, but we do have some amazing faculty who teach programming, and programming is going to mean more to you when you have a problem to solve and you apply it. For example, I give programs that I want the student to think about how they're going to create it. And I don't prescript how you're going to do it. I don't say do this, then do this, then do this, then do this. Because the amazing thing about programming is there's more than one way to solve a problem. You don't have to do it just one way. So you have so many ways to solve that problem, so many languages, so many opportunities. If you can build your skills in programming and in scripting, when you're looking at shell scripting, things like that, you
Yes.
will be more employable. I'm actually a command line person. So I'm actually a 95 word a minute typist, because back when I started, we didn't have GUIs for the Unix environment. You knew command line or you didn't do it. And I teasingly used to say that if you can use a GUI, you do what someone like me lets you do. But if you know command line, you rule the world.
Yes.
I want to rule the world. So, there's so many tools and resources, as Sunny said. We have some great programs. There are other people who will help you. And the best way to learn, find a problem you want to solve and then see how you can use the language to solve it.
Yeah.
Because doing something because someone else tells you to, it's not as immersive. But go to the CISO open house, see what they're using programming to do. That's amazing.
The other thing is I say, I always teasing, if you are the VI user, Vim users, you are good programmers. If you don't know how to use Vims, you probably doesn't know how to program.
Right. John's got a follow-up question about, what do you think about some of the cybersecurity boot camps? Many seem highly expensive and you just earn a certificate. It really depends on, honestly, where do you want to go and what do you want to do? When students ask me, should I go to certifications? Should I do boot camp? Should I go take additional classes? Where should I land? Honestly, what part of cyber do you love? What kind of job do you want? Have you looked at LinkedIn or the other hiring services to see what people at those companies have as their skills? Sometimes the companies will pay for you to get those skills, so you don't necessarily have to pay for those trainings. The other thing is, I'm a firm believer, I'm very biased, 30 years in this field, right? Nothing that you learn in cyber is a waste, because at minimum, it helps to inform your understanding about how all the pieces in cyber play together, because it is not a silo. Every single thing affects every other thing. And so even if you do take training and you don't end up working in that area, it's not a loss, because it will help you in problem solving. It will help you in interacting with your peers in those other departments. But really determine where you want to land and what, not to sound disrespectful, but what do you want to be when you grow up? And I still haven't decided, by the way, and I'm 52. So, deciding where you want to land for this part of your career, and then maybe focus your efforts that way. Once you're done, if you're in the cybersecurity program here at CSUSB, I would strongly suggest your Security Plus, and we have students who are helping with boot camps for that. We have Zach Taylor and a couple others who are helping to conduct those every summer. And that's a great entry cert to get. Plus, if you take your curriculum, you're really going to be well poised for the CISSP.
Yes.
So, and if you're going to take that cert, you either want to take it as soon as you're done with your educational program, because then you've touched all the different areas, or once you're in the field and you've continued to study, then you want to take it. Because if you just go in the field and start working in one facet of cyber, you're not going to stay current in all the other domains, because it touches so much. And I've had my CISSP since 2004, 3. Something like that. Many renewals. And believe me, you never want to take it again. It's one of those tests that's kind of a stinker test. It gives you 4 to 6 possible answers. And guess what? All 4 or 6 could be correct. And you're now looking, based on the context of the statement, which one's more correct or less correct. And it's like, you never want to take it again. You want to get it and you want to be done.
That's true.
I say that as someone with 23 certifications. So, I'm a cert junkie. Don't ever take that one again.
Hey, this was a great conversation. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, and I just remember one of the first things that Sunny said is don't pick anything up and put it in the computer. That's a big one. I read just 2 stories about our cybersecurity program. A couple of years ago, I was doing some freelance work in Las Vegas for a video show, and they had the cybersecurity groups going there for a big summit, the students at the Caesar's Palace. And I had talked to the security staff, and they were like, first the staff was like, we don't know why we're letting those students here. And they had taken, the second thing they'd done is every ATM machine, every port, everything on this one floor they had taken it all out, because they were worried about the cybersecurity students hacking in at any point in place in the casino.
Yep. Well, that happens
Yep.
at DEF CON and at Black Hat every year.
That was it,
Mhm.
DEF CON. That was
Yes.
it.
Yeah. And they're not students. Some of those are nationally renowned hackers. You actually, if you go to Black Hat or DEF CON, which I've never been to either, but if you go to them, a lot of times you're going to interact with some of the criminals as well as law enforcement, not know who's who because they all look alike as you're moving around. The cool thing is if I go to a conference like that, I don't have to wait in line for the restroom because there are so few women.
I'm gonna tell you one more story that was really great. We used to have a student that was in for ATI in the video department, and he was with us for about 2 years, and then he got into the cybersecurity program and disappeared, and just worked in that. What's really great and transformative. This is one of those tearjerker stories. So he was a student that was had some economically challenged. He had a lot of food insecurity. So a lot of the staff here would provide, we had a little fund for him so we'd always have food. He went through the program, and then now he's been there for about a year and a half, making, as he says, a insane salary from the government and protecting us from foreign governments that would try to hack into our systems. But the point I want to make is here's someone that was borderline living in his car, was finally got student housing, food insecure, went through the program. The government got him a house, they moved him over there, and he is set and he is protecting our country. That is how that program is changing the lives of students that are in our region. I mean, that
Absolutely.
is the best,
Absolutely.
amazing story,
Mhm.
and I'm still in contact with him. And just to know that he went from here to here is just incredible.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know
And
if
I
can
believe
I'm not
Dr.
gonna say his
Nestler was a
name.
Marine. So
Huh?
I believe Dr. Nestler was a Marine. So he definitely has the military understanding. This is a great field because, anybody who
Mhm.
wants to protect our country, this is a great way to do it. Plus, you actually don't need any money. You do need access to technology,
Mhm.
but you don't need any money for it. I mean, we have the laptop loaner program. You can go to the library. You can, and there are so many free resources.
Mhm.
Honestly, if folks are interested in learning, one of the things I do is post just a ton of free resources for any one of the classes that I'm teaching because sometimes it takes students hearing it a different way, seeing it a different way, having a different context for it to click. And honestly, that's what happened for me when I was taking my COBOL class. The only class in my life I ever was failing, I was failing that class. And then I had a friend take me aside, and he was in a different class by the same teacher and said, this is how it works. Da, 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 and I was learning it, by the way, when they had chalk on a chalkboard and pen and paper. And to take the exam, you're given copy paper and told to write an entire program that does something that they're telling you to do without ability test or anything else. But when it clicked, I promise you, it never left my brain.
No.
I am a developer because I now understand the logic, the flow, everything. And it's because somebody presented in a way that I understood. And in cyber, we have so many free resources and opportunities for you to learn. And our teachers, we all have different personalities. We all have different exposures, different toys and tools for you to play with. You're going to learn.
Yes. And also you will feel satisfied when you solving the problem. Very first time
Absolutely.
solving the problem, writing a program. You never forget that moment.
Yep, you own that knowledge, and
Yeah.
it's a point of arrival and celebration.
Yes.
Well, this is, I mean, I know, and I think it doesn't get out there that how amazing our cybersecurity program is on this
Mhm.
campus, and really the impact it's having on not just our students in our region, but nationally, and how it's really protecting us at a very critical point. So thank you
And we also
so
use it
much.
to build resumes, right? Last
Mhm.
semester, I worked with 3 different businesses in my 3 different classes, and students got to put this down as volunteerism as work experience, both of them. This semester, unfortunately, that didn't work out the same way, but we are trying to do that whenever we can. And so then what they're learning has context because we're applying it to solving a business problem.
Yep.
So they see that, oh, we're not just doing these silly assignments in a book, we're doing something to solve a problem for a business. So it makes a difference.
Well, I'm looking
Yes.
forward to seeing you soon over at Palm Desert. I'll be out
Absolutely.
there in the near future. working with the great team out there and the students, the amazing students that you have at that campus.